Because I'm sure the one or two white people who was watching the show was like, okay, I'm good. Because evidently they didn't like Trump either. And, he came out, I was like, well, I'm going to go golfing with him. He's a good guy. I'm going to meet with him again.
Well, you hear what he said? Well, he's living up to his promises.
Well, what promises? Well,
that he had made him.
But he actually said in a recent interview that I don't think they have spoken. And he said that he regrets meeting with Trump. Now, of course, all of your shows are taking a dive. Yeah, I guess you would regret that. And then Donovan says, Al Jackson is the best host on the Demetri K show. Al is the crazy one. Shauna says, that was monstrous how he could think they didn't feel pain, almost as if black women are not human. Well, yes, they did. How could it's beyond, I'm speechless even trying to form the words to think about it, because it's like, you're doing this to a person and thinking they don't feel no pain. Or, I know what black people are superhuman. I'll give them that. But to think that I'm going to do these heinous things to you, and oftentimes he would, the ladies would die on the table, their babies, because he's trying to get up in them and see what the baby is doing. The babies would die, and he just discard the bodies. Okay, next, that didn't work, or that was the wrong tool. And this guy is supposed to be the founding father of gynecology. I can't think of his name, but he did this to black women.
Did you hear that story about that girl whose baby was trying to be snatched by this other lady in Baltimore, and without no anesthesia, and that she actually cut into the woman, and she, endeared it. She ended up escaping in the end, but it was horrific. It was horrific to endure that pain like that.
There's definitely some monsters out there, and so then. Samuel, you say, I like the terminology friendly, not friends. What is the biblical definition of a friend? Well, you know what? Tell me what it is. What is the biblical definition? Because I'm telling you, once I heard the Malcolm X interview a long time ago, but that question really just stuck with me like, wow. Not even just in relation to white people, but just people in general, because a lot of times we'll make the mistake of calling people our friends. And then they do some things, and so you might have to ask yourself, okay, well, were they really my friend? Or were they just friendly at the time because maybe they were getting something from me? Or maybe they were just friendly,
Wasn't there a song by TLC, What About Your Friends?
What about your friends, or the famous one like I started off singing with Houdini. Friends, how many of us have them? And then so Ali says, isn't it so ironic that American Bandstand, hosted by Dick Clark, always came on the exact same time as Soul Train to kill the black ratings? But you know what? Isn't it also ironic that Soul Train was the longest dance show ever on TV? So nice try, Dickie. And so Charles says, there's a book, Medical Apartheid, that explains all the female experiments. And I'm quite sure this guy is in there. But I don't know how in depth they go into what he did to black women. Maybe he did. But, that's just one of the many things.
Examples.
Yeah, that was done to black people throughout slavery. And I have read quite a bit of slave narratives. If you guys go on YouTube, there's a YouTube video. It was actually on HBO about 10 years ago called The Slave Narratives. And you have all these celebrities who are reading the actual accounts and interviews from slaves. But just even some of the slaves were under the impression, well, not a lot of them, but a few of them, that the massa was friendly. He treated us okay. But,
well, let me interject right there. How can you determine somebody's treating you friendly or okay if that's all you know?
Well, true. I guess, if you're a slave and you think, okay, well, massa is, he's good to me, you might say that because
he's only beating you 5 times a week.
Well, maybe not even that, but maybe, your fellow slave, friends or whoever up the road at Massa Johnson's farm is, getting beat every other day, you know, so maybe you're thinking, okay, well, damn, I don't have it as bad. Right. I don't know, but that's a good question. What is the litmus test, you know? And then so Shawnee says, oh, yes, don't be loose with the friend word. Yeah, and a lot of us are. I always tell people I have friends. I have a few friends, but I have a lot of associates. Like, I rarely hang out with people. I hang out with Donovan.
We're not friends.
We're not friends.
We're not friends, yeah.
I'm going to kick his ass after the show for some reason, I'm sure. But, I got a few friends. Very few people I call my friend, but I know a lot of people. So Billy says, please don't say friendship is biblical because God killed his son. Oh, Lord. We getting into it
That's
now.
That's a good point.
Secret Guardian said that doctor was not a doctor. He was a freak S&M sadomasochist with a license cover. We should never give him the respect of calling him doctor. No, I totally agree. But this guy was dubbed the father of gynecology in that he came to prominence and I guess maybe learned some of the skills they use today by using slaves. Mm-hmm. Black women lying them on the table and without any anesthesia, putting them to sleep for nothing, digging and poking and stabbing and jabbing into them.
Well, in the Holocaust, they used a lot of experimentation, right. So the Jews did a lot and got suffered, and
Yeah, but the Jews got some reparations. Give me mine. You
know? Of course we would.
But I agree with you, Steve. Right? We should not be calling him a doctor, but a lot of us don't know that because of him doing that to slave women. We now have what we call modern day gynecology. Mm-hmm. And so Charles says the book in depth. Okay, I do want to check that out. A lot of us just don't know because we're so used to seeing things and studying things on the surface, but we need to dig deep and learn the history of a lot of the things that, like Dr. Joyce DeGruy said. I mean, a lot of times people will say, "Oh, black people are messed up. Black people got this. Black people need to quit doing this." But she outlined it very thoroughly that black people are in the state that we're in now due to still suffering the effects of slavery. Anybody who is even remotely familiar with slavery, obviously we weren't there, so we will never be that familiar. But any of us who know the context of slavery will know that you can't do those horrible things to a people. And then even after slavery, you have the Jim Crow era. Then you have, even now in 2017, you have to stop and ask yourself, is this 2017 or is this 1919? So we're still going through those things. And so Billy says, and Jesus' buddy ratted on his ass. Oh, so you're basically saying that wasn't his friend. Okay, and then Shauna says a quack. Yes, the doctor was a quack. But, obviously, people thought his what he found throughout his experiments with slave women to be great, because here we are now. I'm sure some of the things that you and I, we go to the doctor for, came out of some of the things that he did to slave women. And so Senior Guardian says, we should have that doctor's license revoked. Well, he's dead because this happened during slavery in the 1800s. But, maybe they can, how do you say it, posthumously take his license? I doubt they'll do that. No. They still, having a problem with giving black people reparations.
We'll have a problem with removing statues.
Right, exactly. Like Donovan said, we're having a problem getting statues removed, so they'll be like, over our dead bodies. Right. And he also say, try it in the court of law.
They won't.
Be interesting. Yeah. They'll be like, if you don't get your black ass out of here. Billy says, hell no. Quentin says, I am friends with people that are like-minded. Okay, so I've seen a few people. Secret Garden also used that. I'm friends with people who are like-minded. Now, I'm friends with people who are like-minded too. I don't know if it's just by happenstance or whatever, by design. I don't hang out with a lot of white people. I just don't. I have white associates, but I don't hang out with a lot of people in general. But so I don't really hang out with a lot of white people. Not on purpose, I just don't, And so Charles says, it's a curtain. It's a curtain. Can I read? It's a certain similar. I know Al is cracking up like she cannot read. It's no, you did say it's a curtain similar to I can read. It's a curtain similar to the Iron Curtain, the Cotton Curtain, as far as Jim Crow. Yes. I put up another post because, I was reading about slavery and watching some things. And then one of the slave narratives, actually, on HBO, one of the slave interviews or the accounts, she was saying that they had to pick 300 pounds of cotton a day. Can you imagine? I have a cotton sweatshirt on, and I'm sure it doesn't even weigh a pound. Now, how much cotton did it take to make this sweatshirt? And so, imagine yourself as a slave. You're getting up, let's say it's getting light at 5:30 now, 5:30 in the morning, and out there 12 hours roughly, you're picking 300 pounds of cotton. That has got to be almost impossible. But I guess if you're looking at, a couple of lashes on your back, or getting some harsh treatment because you didn't get your cotton quota for the day, you're probably going to be out there picking cotton. And a lot of people don't know is I've never picked cotton, but those cottons have thorns.
Yeah,
they have thorns.
I'm from the South, so it is.
You was picking some cotton before?
No, I wasn't picking cotton. No, hell no.
Donovan was picking cotton.
No,
he got out here in California and got all Hollywood and bougie.
Exactly, but no, I went down there and saw how the cotton is. That is that's a hard job to do.
Like they say, a hard road to hoe. I just couldn't imagine. And so Samuel says, John 15:13 says, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Okay. Mm-hmm. Can you guys think of 2 friends? Just 2 friends that you would lay your life down for?
Not a one.
Damn.
Not a one.
Donovan said he ain't got one friend. I'm your friend, you wouldn't?
No, not a one. I will defend you to the best of my ability, but if I lay my life down, you can't do it.
You see how he's doing me? He's supposed to be my friend over 30 years strong. He's talking about shit. You don't know.
If Blackula was chasing us, you'd be tripped.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to have to reevaluate our friendship. And Al says, it was a hit report that Dance Fever was canceled. You know what? You got issues. Dance Fever was canceled because supposedly the show's creator and producer fired Danny Terrio and replaced by Adrian Zmed of Grease 2. And Lily White musical movie, and let's say Seymour. I just don't even know if you're serious or if you're joking. Oops, hold on. Serious or if you're joking. Let's see, Seymour, Grease 2, a Lily White musical movie, and T.J. Hooker replaced Danae because too many black couples were winning. Adrian was brought in to increase the white viewers. Are you for real? Because I don't know if you're joking, but that sounds like some. Well, if that, let's just say it was true. Okay. Billy, it says, yes, the older people in my family told me about the sores on their fingers. Yes, I think it was you that responded on a post saying about the thorns. And so here you are as a slave. You got to get your cotton sack, whatever it is they had. Get out there and pick this cotton. And they didn't give you garden gloves. Hell, they didn't even have shoes. And so you're out there picking this cotton. And, your probably hands are bleeding. And then, God forbid, you bring some bloody cotton. Because I did read that somewhere, that they couldn't bring back bloody cotton or they got in trouble. So I was like, all right.
And you have to separate the cotton from the thorns.
Yeah, you got to do all of that. And you did 300 pounds of cotton. I'd be like, listen, you know what? You're going to have to do one or 2 things with me. You're going to have to put my ass back on the good ship Jesus and send me back. Or you just probably have to just do me in, because
No. We could find something for you. You look like you come from good stock, so we will go ahead and make sure we get some good bucks out of you.
No, you ain't getting no good bucks up out of me. But we can say that now because none of us
have been slaves.
Yeah, none of us been slaves, so we talking about shit. I wish they would. They'd have to kill me. I mean, we say that, but
and most likely they would have killed you if you didn't do it.
Yeah, and so therefore you're like, okay. You want me to do what now? Right. So Billy says he's not joking. He's for real. So Quentin says, if Steve Harvey ratings keep dropping, how long do you think he will still be relevant?
They will probably cancel his show within the next 3 to 4 weeks.
And I agree. He said that his show, the one that he moved to Hollywood, they'll probably cancel that within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I haven't watched the show, but I heard it's not that good for one. That is very boring and it's very dry. In addition to, when you kind of, I'm trying to be nice and not curse, so that's why I'm just using the word, thumb your nose at people, especially the people who
when you shit on black people.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, you said it.
Well, we're on the podcast, so those on the live.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
When you do that to people, eventually they're like, okay, you're not really for us anymore, so I'm going to stop watching you. It sounds like Steve has lost his little urban touch. Then he also ran away a lot of people with that whole think like a man, act like a woman, lady book that he had. A lot of men who were fans of his was like, yeah, I'm done. Whenever
these people start telling other people how to live, it just seems to come right back on them.
Which is fine, but be realistic. Be realistic. I mean, if you're on your 3rd marriage after you cheated on 2 of your wives and you're telling other people not to do,
Yeah, and you marry your side chick and she's your queen and my wife this, my wife that. It's kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to swallow as somebody who's listening.
Right. And then Quinn, I don't think it'll be that long. And it's unfortunate. I don't wish any bad on anybody. I know that's how he feeds his family, but it's like, come on, dude. You had all these opportunities to humble yourself and you didn't do it,
Yeah, at least Chrisette Michele is on an apology tour. She said that was probably the worst decision she's made.
But damn, Chrisette. I mean, everybody tried to tell her not to do it. I mean, Questlove was like, here, let me write you a check not to do it. But she was...
Well, what killed me about Chrisette Michele is remember that statement? She said, I'm here to bring people together. You're an entertainer. That isn't your job.
And probably 99.9% of those white folks never even heard of Chrisette. Right. But you know what she was thinking? I'm not Chrisette. I haven't talked to her, but I think she was thinking, well, shoot, this is my opportunity
to expand.
Everybody else is saying no, but I'm going to say yes. And white people are going to put me on. And they're going to put me to the next level. And it's like, yeah, okay. White people they don't know you. Because a lot of them are like, who's that?
Right.
And so Al says, I'm for real, baby. My white side is not lying. Okay, I believe you. And Charles says, you need to get the book. I will inbox you the info. Yes, please do, because I enjoy reading and learning, different things about history and stuff like that. Al says, question. If Steve's show gets canceled, will he be crying more like a bitch like Tyrese? I don't know if he will be crying. I just think to me, it's unfortunate that you think that you're going to reinvent the wheel. Like, I'm going to be that black dude or that black woman that's going to, as you would say, shit on black people and have white people are going to, just grab onto me and just lift me up to where I need to be. And it's like, well, who has that worked for?
Right.
It hasn't worked for anybody. Black, I mean, they're going to do what they need to do with you.
Even Stepin Fetchit and what's the show? Amos and Andy didn't work for them.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned Stepin Fetchit because I was curious. I've never seen a Stepin Fetchit show. And Stepin Fetchit for a while was one person. A lot of people don't know that. It was one guy. Oh my God. So I watched a YouTube show. He was originally supposed to be with the Little Rascals. It was supposed to all be together, but they spun him off into his own thing. But this cat was the worst. He was dubbed, and I kid you not, Stepin Fetchit, the laziest Negro in the world.
Right.
Not Los Angeles. Not, wherever in the world. He was dubbed the laziest Negro in the world. And so he'd be like, I don't know. What y'all doing there? And this dude was rich.
Right, and he was so famous that he was spun off into Bugs Bunny.
Yes, he was. They say he was the first millionaire black actor, ever.
Highest paid, at that time.
Yeah, the highest paid off of Wakunin.
Yeah, he was in Bugs Bunny cartoons, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So, but as you said, black people were like, "Wait, hold on a second. We don't really necessarily think this is funny."
Right.
And the rest is history. I mean, he died. I read the story. He died broke. And died kind of alone because Hollywood was done with them. And black people was like, yeah, we've been done with you with the laziest
and
Negro
of course,
in the world.
and all the narratives when that happens, there's also drug paraphernalia that he
he got caught up in drugs and all that. I mean, because he couldn't handle the fact that I'm
not relevant anymore.
I'm not relevant. Black people hate me now because I've shown because that white people love the stuff.
Oh, they loved it.
And that was another question I'm going to get to. I see your comments. I'm going to get to it. But that was a thing too. I'm like, this was entertainment for white folks? I mean, like, this is sick.
The good old days.
Yeah, but it's sick. This dude is, he just, I don't know. What are y'all doing in there? It's just, and he just, that was funny to them. I'm like, well, that's sick.
Okay.
And so Quentin says, wow, 2 to 3 weeks. That shows you that Hollywood is only your friends when you are making them money. Well, absolutely, especially black people.
Well, can I interject here for the podcast? A lot of people don't realize when they come up with the blaxploitation of the 70s, if it wasn't for the blaxploitation was a label put on by the NAACP saying that we don't like to see black people like this. So it was really a minority because black people were going to those movies.
Right.
And that's what saved Hollywood in the 70s because Hollywood, the big blockbusters weren't making any money.
Right. And that's funny that you say that, too, because a lot of things actually saved white people in that it created jobs and industry for them. And it was solely, other than, cotton picking and slavery, but which is partially why integration happened, because it's like, okay, those Negroes are by themselves. They're getting along great. White economy started to suffer. So it's like, yo, they got all that money over there. Let's let's get them over here. Let's get some of this money. And so that had a lot to do with the end of segregation. A lot of people don't know that. They think, they wanted us to eat with them.
But when they stopped the black exploitation movies, thanks to the NAACP and CORE and all these black organizations that were getting their money from the man,
right?
It left people like Pam Grier out in the winter, Antonio Fargas. I mean, they were just out there.
Well, I mean, because who wants to hire, and I love Pam Grier, so watch your mouths. Who's going to hire somebody who's been shucking and jiving for 10 to 20 years, and now you have these serious movies, if you want to call it that. It's like, no, because we kind of still see you as, Superfly or Dolomite and, Foxy Brown and all this other stuff. Okay, so here we go. Al, you say, it's weird. It's so weird to me that black people preachers are against gay black men, but the majority of them are
gay.
They're choir directors. Yeah, it's a little strange, but I guess maybe they make good music, and so it's like we can't cut them loose. Hey, Tyrone, what's happening? He said, yes, they were sick and sick and still sick. Yeah, I mean, just the stuff that they laughed at. I mean, that was funny to them. It's weird and sick. Charles says, our show of stupidity led them to believe they are superior. Yes, if you guys can see my sweatshirt, it says superior since forever. It was my daughter's idea that I have the shirt, by the way. She said, it reminds me of you.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so James, what's happening? He says, absolutely. He says, we will infiltrate it. Absolutely. We think, a lot of us who don't know our history, we think, oh gosh, now white people are finally going to let us eat with them. We can go use the restroom with them. Yay! It had nothing to do with that. It was like, man, we need your money. White industry is suffering. You guys have probably seen the video that's been circulating for the last couple of months, how to sell to the Negro market. Back then, we had a buying power of $15 billion. And so they're like, yo, we need to get this money. I know we don't really like them much, but we like their money, so let's get their money. And then so Al, he said, OJ has embraced his black side. He is overweight because he went from OJ to Mountain Dew. No, OJ will never embrace his black side. Never. Ever. So we can just hang that up. Then he says, hey, Demetra, what I missed? You haven't missed a thing. We're still going strong. We're asking the question. We've asked the question. Is it possible to have white friends, or are they just friendly, or friendly with us? Are they actually our friends, or are they just being friendly? And so we've kind of just ventured off into various topics, and so I don't see any more comments. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I guess we should probably acknowledge the shooting that took place in Texas a couple of hours ago. I was off Facebook for a while, and I came back on, and I saw everybody posting about this mass shooting that took place in a church in Texas. Sounds like it was a predominantly white church. It was a white shooter from what I just learned before I came on here. And so, condolences to anybody who has lost anybody in that shooting. It's horrible. So I don't know what you guys else want to talk about, but I'm open to talk about anything else you want to talk about. Let's see, how much time do we have? Oh, we got a few minutes. So what do you guys want to talk about? Anything that I missed? Anything you just want to talk about in general? I know that Donovan is always in my ear about the relationship between black men and black women.
What relationship?
He says, what relationship? I almost wanted to talk about that today, but maybe I'll save it for another time. Just what do we need to do to bridge the gap between black men and black women? Well,
we're talking about like Tyrese, recent thing. Number one of his main mistakes is he shouldn't be crying on.
So that's another thing, because me and you talked about this yesterday, and I see Benny's comments. He said, yes, it's possible, but I believe you yourself have to know whom you are and do not compromise your stance for anyone, even family. I love that, because you do have to know who you are, because when you know who you are unshakable. Any and everything somebody does or says, it does not shake you, because you know who you are. You are completely rooted in that. And I also believe when you know who you are, there's not a lot you can't do, because you're not holding on to these falsehoods or fear of, I can't be myself. There's a lot of people who wouldn't do what I'm doing, who wouldn't do what you're doing in regards to bringing awareness to our community. And I don't even know how good of a job that I'm doing.
You're doing a good job. Your numbers went out the roof.
Oh, well, okay. I don't watch the numbers. Donovan watches the numbers. But, you know, a lot of people, especially a lot of us black people, won't do it because we have this thing, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to make anybody mad, or, gosh, you know, I got white friends and they're not going to like it. But I think if they're truly your friends, they're going to want you to be yourself, and they're going to want you to speak your truth and be true to yourself. And see, that's the problem, too, with a lot of us as black people. We have no knowledge of self. And so we just go with the wind. We let everybody define us. If you say something as a black woman about not necessarily white people, but just empowering black people, you're an angry black woman.
Well, absolutely. Well, what did I tell you about our show? Everybody complains about you. And I said, well, what is it about Demetra that you got a problem? She's speaking up for her people. She's speaking about, you know, group economics of her people. What's wrong with that? And nobody could ever give me an answer.
But you're asking the perfect question, because on our show, our other show, a lot of times people, for whatever reason, we got a lot of white viewers.
Listen,
I
some
don't discourage them. Please watch and listen. But they want to know why I'm racist. For one thing, I can't be racist.
Yeah, you can't be racist.
Why am I so mean? Why am I so evil? Why am I so hateful?
Why are you waking up these Negroes?
Pretty much. But then Donovan will explain to him what's wrong with her, you know, bringing awareness to what's going on in the black community in regards to just trying to educate and find solutions.
Right. Every other culture does it.
Right. But when we do it, because I'm telling you, they're afraid of the sleeping giant waking up. They're starting to see us wake up and it's like, oh my God, we're scared. So I see some more comments. Alex says, Al's Jack's jokes of the day. Lord.
Here we go. Let's get it.
And I'm not even Catholic, but I have to cross myself. Says, what did Houston cops wear on Halloween? Their regular clothes, Donald Trump suits. You know what? You better stop. Quinn says, you are doing a great job. Well, I thank you for that. I try. And James says, white friends are usually old teammates, but in business, I have some white guys I can depend on. I'm in energy and no brothers, although I'm reaching out to HBCUSs to spread the word. Brothers need to, see more. Brothers need to become more business oriented and involved forcefully local government and commerce. Yes. Now here's just a little pushback, and maybe you can help me answer this. Another thing that I listen and read a lot of stuff. It's amazing. But it's also said that a lot of the black dollars and unity was kind of taken or steered away from the black community by allowing black people to finally go work in government jobs, you know, giving us jobs, the good jobs, I guess you can say. Because now we're not focused on unity anymore. We've got that good job.
And what generation got those good jobs? The baby boomers, our parents.
Right. They got these good jobs. And so that once they got these good jobs, they moved away. Well, I don't need to depend on my brothers and sisters no more. Shit, I got the government job.
I'm the first Negro in this neighborhood.
Exactly. Or I'm the first black person to work at this job. And so they say that's kind of what helped dilapidate the black community too. So, but no, I agree. We should learn about those things. At the very least, we should learn about those things. But that's just kind of a little information. And once you really think about it, it's like, well, wow, that's true. I mean, up until segregation, there wasn't a whole lot of black people working in government
other than the military.
Other than military, you know, or being used as spies, you know, or to infiltrate our own organizations. Right, our organizations. And then so I don't see any more comments, but I'll go ahead and to address Donovan's thing with Tyrese. And I've seen a lot of people say this, not that I'm even trying to talk about Tyrese, but I just wanted to make this point, and maybe I'm wrong. All right. A lot of people have taken Tyrese to task because he's been on social media crying. And then, okay, so I'll get to your, let me read your comment first, because you're probably going to say what I'm going to say. It said, on the Tyrese situation, I'll say this. Though I believe he made a mistake by taking his inner emotions to social media, I, as a black man, am disappointed in my people kicking a brother while he's down. And this calling him bitches for emotional expression about a particular area where we need our brothers being emotional about. I think he read my mind.
Agreed.
Because me and you talked about this yesterday, and you're absolutely right. And this is my thing too. Me and Al have talked about this. None of us have been presented with the possibility of losing your child forever. Does any of us know how long forever is?
18 years till they turn 18.
18 years, really. Well, I'm saying forever up until 8. Well, the child is 10, so 8 years is forever. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of us who have seen Tyrese on the internet or whatever, seen him with his daughter. I mean, he loves his child.
And another one on the way.
And he has another one on the way. Okay, and so he's been accused of beating his child, and as of Friday, those allegations were thrown out. So up until then, he hadn't seen his child in over 2 months.
And the woman still has the nerve to accept the check.
Yeah, well, she's getting $13,000 a month, and so he hasn't seen his child in 2 months, and he has the possibility of not seeing her until she's 18. So none of us have been in that situation. So for us to get on here, to your point, and castigate this man, even though he's castigated us, and say he's a bitch, or he shouldn't be on the internet crying. Who are we to decide what this man should do?
Well, what I'm saying is, in a legal thing, it's just like I did about the Kanika Jenkins, the Martin thing. Mm-hmm. You don't go on the internet when you're dealing with legal aspirations of that, because it could be used against you.
Yeah, I agree with that, with the legal ramifications. Yeah. However, when you are emotionally distraught,
I'm with them.
That man was, again, I'm not a huge fan of Tyrese. I don't hate him. I just don't I don't have an opinion of him. But when I saw the one video of him crying, I was like, this man is distraught. Right. He is distraught on the verge of being deranged. And so I felt his pain in that. Damn, I'm going to lose my child for something I didn't do.
After seeing that video, I could legitimately see why some women end up dead.
Well, I don't know about murder.
No, but I could see he was so distraught.
No, he was very distraught.
For a woman to do that to him.
Right, and so to Benny's point, here we are talking about this, brother, and I agree. Even to the point, Benny, a lot of people taking the Rock side. Now, I don't know the whole dynamics between him and the Rock. I didn't get into all of that, but it's like, he is our brother, regardless of how we feel about him. And it is very disheartening to see most of us dogpile on his misery. Mm-hmm. We dogpile on his misery instead of trying to uplift him. Now, I read earlier that Jada and Will gave him $5 million to help with his legal fees, and they did kind of tell him to stay off the internet.
Yeah, but notice Jada and Will are doing that because they were kicked. Their support in the Black community has gone.
Well, but they're friends with him too.
No, exactly.
You don't give nobody $5 million because you
exactly. but I also think that's a move for them to try to get back into.
It could be. And then so Al, you say Tyrese put the crying video out because that was the trailer to Baby Boy 2. You need to stop. And Benny says, if you love your child, one day without them could break me down. Yes, absolutely. And that's what I said. Nobody. I've had court issues with my daughter's father when she was young, but nothing to that degree.
See, but you took him to court, and look, and come to find out, after all those years, he was crazy like he said he was.
Yeah, he was. Now y'all see he's crazy. But neither one of us threatened each other. Well, I'm taking her forever. Yeah. So I'm not mad at Tyrese for that, and I don't see how anybody else could be, because there's a saying that I really love that says, "But for the grace of God, there go I." You could be very easily. Well, neither one of us, because our kids are old. But you could be in that situation, and you don't know. You might get on it. I just felt like Tyrese felt that was the only way he was going to be heard.
Right.
Obviously, the guy was hurting. He was very desperate, and I think that was his last-ditch effort. He was going to court in a couple of days. He just wanted somebody to hear him. Right. Maybe somebody to help. Yeah,
But let this be a lesson to male and female. Better be careful who you pick to have children with.
Yes, and that is true. And that's what we discussed yesterday. Be careful who you lay down with. Slim Thug, he put out a video about it saying he thinks $13,000 a month is excessive.
Think about it. Over a 10-year period, that woman is making over $1.3 million.
Over 10 years?
Over a 10-year period.
Oh, okay.
That's $1.3 million.
That's nothing, though. Not compared to what Tyrese is making or could make.
But the thing is, what happens? Wait. Hypothetically, what happens if Tyrese just falls out of Hollywood completely?
Well, then she'll have to go get other means of supporting herself.
Supporting herself or the daughter?
Well, whatever.
But there are. That's what I'm saying. Until the righteous women start standing up and saying these laws are not fair, because they could hold him to 13, even though he's not bringing that money in. They don't have to lower that
Well, he
situation.
can always go back to court too, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And so, let's see. Ali says, Tyrese will have me crying if he makes another Fast and the Furious. You know what's topic. Billy says, when we're emotionless, it's a problem. When we show emotion, it's a problem. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with a man crying. I do have a problem now, Benny. This is where I may get in trouble. I have a problem with a man being emotional to the point of
he's too sensitive.
Maybe. Oh, I think my daughter says that as an Aries that I have no compassion. She says that.
Yeah.
She says you have no compassion because when I hear people cry a lot or they're too sensitive or they're very emotional, I'm like, listen, I need you to get it together.
Right.
Before we continue. I think that's
but from what I'm hearing, that loving is so good. The man is just like the song last night.
Oh, he can be emotional.
Okay,
like
right
that,
there, crying.
Just, oh my gosh, she stubbed my toe.
Yes.
I don't know what to do. No, I need you to get yourself together.
Yeah.
James says, how could you family/personal life be respected when you do that? Lack of discipline. I have been there too. Luckily, no social media back then. And that's the thing too. Mm-hmm. Now there's social media. So if we wanted to, we could set up, I wouldn't, Donovan might, but if you wanted to, you could set up a live video and show you running butt naked in the living room if you wanted to. I mean, so there's you can go to social media for I'm not suggesting anybody do that.
Well, I showed you a video today about a young, thick lady that was walking around at a hotel.
Yes.
I thought it was Amanda, but
that was
my ideal woman.
That's not your ideal woman. It's a woman walking around with her booty.
But that's what I'm saying. You're walking around like that. Guy's videotaping, and she didn't like the guy following her, but then she gets offended.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been following.
I know
she
right.
had her booty out, but come on, control yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're
right.
And so Al says, I cry when we TMI. Shauna says, I'm coming back. I don't know where y'all, but I see, you say I see Tyrese. I don't know. I just don't, Al. I don't know. I can't be mad at Tyrese. I mean, I do feel his pain. I feel his pain. Donovan's dog is in here and she's scratching herself and Donovan doesn't like her to do that.
Yeah.
You don't tell Belle what to do.
I know.
Belle is she's a very strong woman, and you don't tell her what to do. Stay
out. Look, fellas, we got to put our thumbs down on these women. This girl jumped in the car, didn't see her for a whole day.
And so Shiny says, I don't know what the point of him was going on social media. He was hurt. He was upset.
Panicked.
He panicked. Yes, he was distraught. He was about to, very close to losing his child.
Over a lie.
Trying to get a permanent restraining order against him to see his daughter. She alleged that he beat her. Well, Friday, the court says, okay, we don't see evidence of that. Mm-hmm. So, I think the man was he loves his daughter. So, I can't think of too many people who wouldn't do that. Now,
real quick. Okay, that's a false allegation. Mm-hmm. What is the penalty for her making a false accusation?
Nothing. She gets to go on and cash her checks.
Okay, gotcha.
Nothing. There's no false.
Do
nothing.
You see the problem with that?
Oh no, I do think that is an issue. I mean, you lying on people, you should get in trouble. Yeah. And so Benny says, in this particular situation, though, where there is a huge problem within our community, relationship between the black families. Oh yes, huge. If we can solve that problem alone, black people. I mean, we would do, like leaps and bounds.
One of the biggest problems is what we see what these kids are seeing on videos and in the media and whatever. You got girls that are looking up to Cardi B like we talked about on the last show. That doesn't make any sense to be a stripper.
Well, I mean, Cardi B is your daughter's role model. The problem ain't Cardi B, is you.
You, right. So, and the sexualization of our women, that's a very big problem. Right. Which is why, as a man, if I'm seeing this woman that is all bubblicious and she's all, good looking, without substance, and I'm going for that, I'm going to expect some hell if I have children with her.
But see, the problem is there's men who don't expect that. I'm not saying a woman can't be butt naked and have some sense, but I think if she had some sense, she wouldn't be walking around butt naked. But and I'm going to get y'all comments in a minute, but there's a lot of men who try to forge a relationship with a woman like that. And
that's
then
loose.
When he, has kids with her and then she does the things that she's probably been doing, it's like, she's I picked the worst baby mother, and she's this and she's that. It's like, well, you couldn't look past her big old booty, could you?
Right. Don't trust a big butt and a smile.
Couldn't you? BBD tried to tell you. And so Shawnee says he could have been going to his family with that. Well, maybe his family.
True.
Maybe they're, who knows? I mean, he could have, but I think.
But, when you make that kind of money and you come from the hood like he, claims he does, sometimes you got to cut that family off.
Well, maybe cut the family off, and maybe he felt like the family was not going to be able to help him, like social media. And then Shauna says, well, that's what his black queen, quote unquote, is there for. Yes. Tyrese did get in a little trouble for, talking about his black queen. But to defend Tyrese on that, black women, not all, some were going after him like, oh, she's not a black woman. And so I think he said the black queen comment in defense of her, like, yeah, she's black and something. She's
like
something.
Dominican or something like that.
Yeah, so I think he was saying that to defend it. Although we know Tyrese has said some pretty jacked up things about black women. And Al says, let's take a poll. Who cried the most? Like Tyrese, Steve, Nipsey Russell, as the Tin Man and the Wiz, all of Cuba Gooding Jr. movie with characters. You know what? We're not going to even take that poll, okay?
Man.
A teeny. Shauna says, right, that wasn't right. If she lied, yeah, I mean, the court said that it wasn't true. So
what is the penalty for her? It's funny how you could go to jail for filing a false police report, but you can't go to jail for making a false allegation in a child support case.
Listen, I'm not saying it's right. I don't.
Silence. All I heard was silence.
I wouldn't do it. Okay.
Right.
And then, so let's see. I missed a comment. Okay. So Charles says, but there is still discontent within the family that divides to a lack of respect. Yes. Something that we've learned and just continued. If you follow anybody or, you go on social media a lot, you will absolutely think black people do not like each other, men and women. You would think we do not like each other just from reading some of the posts and stuff.
Well, once the baby comes, we definitely don't like each other. So,
why? Because there's responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, and then here I am as a woman, and I'm dating the neighborhood thug that's in and out of jail, and I expect him to change his ways. So, gosh, how dare I get mad?
So Benny says his back was up against the wall, and sometimes we react irrationally when we are faced with a scary situation. We feel hopeless. Yeah, that's what I got when I saw that. Felt like the dude was hopeless. Like, this is a last ditch effort to get somebody to help me. He was saying help. He even said that he asked The Rock to help him, and The Rock wouldn't help him. And I don't know what The Rock got to do with it, but it was a plea for help. And Shauna says he shouldn't have taken the bait. That's his lady. He chose her, and that's all that matters. Yeah, no, I agree. He shouldn't have got on the internet fighting. But see, Tyrese uses the internet, a lot. And so maybe that was his go-to. Like, okay, yeah, let me use this internet one more time. But I agree with you. He shouldn't have taken the bait. But I think Tyrese suffered from that. I'm holier than thou. Like every time I see his video, it looks like he's looking down on everybody. He's looking down. Let me tell you guys, black selves.
Yeah, let me tell you, you Negroes that can't pull yourself up. He's not, by the bootstraps. You sound like a Republican.
Right. And then he said he's broke now. He said he's broke.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're only rated at, $3 million? Did you look up?
I saw $25 million, but he said he's broke. So I don't know how that's possible.
I think he's worth $3 million now. If you add his property and stuff, we're just talking about him as
shit, he's doing better than most.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then Benny says, no one has yet to mention one of the real culprits in the situation. What's the real culprit? Because I think Donovan has been talking about it, but tell me, what's the real culprit?
What is the real culprit?
James says, Tyrese do way too much on here. Almost blew the Dr. Dre and Apple deal. Oh, yeah, he did. Big Mouth and men need to know how it's time to cut this mess out. Yes, I forgot about that because he, I guess he talked about it before they actually went public with it. Yeah, I was like, come on, man. And even the fact that Will and Jada gave him $5 million, I don't know if Will and Jada wanted him to mention that, but it's like, come on, dude. And you know what, James, one thing I will concede is, we expect for women to gossip and talk.
Men gossip and talk a lot.
These men nowadays, it's like, they talk more as much as women.
Well, who are they being raised by? Who are they being raised by?
They were raised by a lot of mamas, but
there you go.
I remember when I used to try to as a child, if I was staring too long at my mom having a conversation, it was like, get out my mouth. Mm-hmm. You know,
walk through. Mm-hmm.
Right, keep on rolling. But yeah, absolutely, James. So Shawnee said, laugh out loud, God, once the baby comes. Lord, yeah.